Welcome back to the most mind-bending unsolved mysteries of 2026. These stories will make you question reality, so buckle up. Because we diving into phenomena that have scientists seriously wondering if the universe is actively messing with us. Let's jump right in. Number 5. 95% of the universe is missing. Here is a fun fact that should absolutely terrify you. Scientists have calculated that all the stuff we can see, stars, planets, galaxies, you, me, everything made of atoms accounts for only 5% of the universe's total mass and energy. 5%. The other 95%, we have no idea what it is. 27% of it is something called dark matter. We know it exists because we can see its gravitational effects. Galaxies spin way faster than they should based on the visible matter alone. Something with mass is holding them together, but we can't see it. We can't detect it directly, and we don't know what it's made of. The leading theory is that it is some exotic particle that doesn't interact with light or normal matter, except through gravity. Scientists have built massive underground detectors to try and catch these particles. But after decades of searching, they've found exactly nothing. But dark matter is the easy part. The real nightmare is dark energy, which makes up 68% of the universe. This is the force causing the universe's expansion to accelerate. Not just expand, accelerate. Galaxies are moving apart from each other faster and faster, which shouldn't be happening. Gravity should be slowing expansion down, not speeding it up. So, something is pushing everything apart with increasing strength, and we have no clue what it is, or why it exists. Throughout 2025 and into 2026, new observations from the James Webb Space Telescope and other facilities have only deepened the mystery. Some measurements suggest the expansion rate is different in different parts of the universe, which would break our fundamental assumptions about cosmology. Other data hints that our models of dark energy might be completely wrong. Think about this. The most advanced civilization in human history, with all our satellites, particle accelerators, and quantum computers, can only account for 5% of reality. The other 95% is just a giant question mark. We're basically cosmic toddlers playing with blocks, thinking we understand the house we're in, while the actual structure of the building is completely invisible to us. And here's a random fact. If dark energy continues accelerating the universe's expansion, in about 100 billion years, every galaxy beyond our local group will have moved so far away that its light will never reach us. Future civilizations will look at the sky and see only darkness, with no evidence that other galaxies ever existed. The universe will have erased its own history. Number 6. The faceless medieval phantom caught on camera. All right, let's talk about something that happened in October 2025. That made even the biggest skeptics uncomfortable. Chester Castle in England, a 900-year-old medieval fortress, has motion detection security cameras covering every entrance. On October 15th, at 2:47 a.m., one of those cameras captured something that security guards still can't explain. The footage shows a pale figure in a hooded robe standing at the main gates. And here's what makes this deeply creepy. The figure is standing exactly where the medieval gatehouse used to be before it was demolished. When security zoomed in on the recording, they noticed the figure had no face, just a blank, pale oval where a face should be. The control room immediately radioed the guard on duty, who grabbed his flashlight and his dog and went to investigate. When he arrived at the gates just minutes later, there was nothing there. No person, no footprints, no sign anyone had been there at all. But here's what he told investigators. He felt like something was watching him. His dog, normally fearless, refused to even leave the vehicle. As the guard searched the grounds, he kept looking over his shoulder, overwhelmed by the sensation of being observed. Now, before you dismiss this as a glitch or a hoax, security experts examined the footage. There was no tampering, no digital artifacts, no evidence of manipulation. The figure appears solid, casts a slight shadow, and moves slightly, as if it's breathing. It stands there for approximately 18 seconds, then seems to just fade away rather than walk away. Chester Castle has documented reports of paranormal activity going back over 200 years. Guards have reported cold spots, unexplained sounds, and that same feeling of being watched, particularly near where the medieval gatehouse once stood. In 2026, paranormal investigators and skeptics alike have analyzed the footage. Believers point to its precise location matching, historical records of executions that took place at the gatehouse, and the figure's medieval-style robe. Skeptics argue it could be a person in a costume. But that doesn't explain how they entered a secured facility without triggering any other alarms, or how they vanished without being caught on any exit cameras. The castle's management released the footage publicly, asking for explanations. As of now, nobody has provided a satisfactory one. Random fact: medieval castles were often built on sites of ancient pagan rituals or previous settlements. Chester Castle itself sits on a Roman fortress foundation. If ghosts or residual energy do exist, layered history like that would theoretically make it a hotspot. Okay, let's dive into some physics that sounds like an S straight out of science fiction but is absolutely, experimentally verified as real. Quantum tunneling. This is the mind-bending phenomenon where a particle passes through a barrier that, according to classical physics, it should not be able to cross. Imagine throwing a tennis ball at a solid wall, and instead of bouncing back, it just appears on the other side, without even breaking the wall. That's essentially what happens at the quantum scale. Electrons do it constantly. It's the reason tunnel diodes in electronics work. It's a critical part of how nuclear fusion happens inside stars. And it's even one of the ways your own DNA mutates. So how does it work? Well, the probability wave of a particle sort of leaks through the barrier, giving the particle a tiny chance to just materialize on the other side. Here's the problem. Nobody knows how. We can calculate the exact probability of it happening. Quantum mechanics is incredibly accurate at predicting that. But the actual mechanism, the process of how a particle crosses a barrier without traveling through the space in between, remains a complete mystery. Some interpretations suggest the particle exists in a superposition of states. It is both here and there at the same time until we measure it and force it to pick a location. Others propose that it briefly borrows energy from the universe to hop over the barrier, then pays it back instantly. A clever violation of energy conservation. There are even wilder theories involving multiple universes or hidden dimensions. But here's the part that really keeps physicists up at night. Quantum tunneling seems to be instantaneous. The particle doesn't spend any time inside the barrier. It's on one side, and then, poof, it's on the other, with no measurable duration in between. This appears to violate one of the most fundamental rules of the universe. Einstein's theory of relativity, which states that nothing can transmit information faster than the speed of light. Yet, if particles tunnel without any time delay, it implies faster than light travel is happening all the time at the quantum level. Researchers are still fiercely debating this, running experiments to measure exactly how long tunneling takes, or if how long is even a meaningful question here. The answer could rewrite our understanding of everything, and the craziest part, you are quantum tunneling right now. The electrons in your body are constantly phasing through barriers they shouldn't be able to cross. It's happening in your cells, in your DNA, in every atom you're made of. Reality is fundamentally weird, and we've just learned to live with it. Next up, ball lightning. The glowing orbs of plasma that simply shouldn't exist. Picture this. You're sitting in your house during a thunderstorm, and suddenly a glowing sphere the size of a basketball floats right through your closed window. It hovers in your living room for about 10 seconds, then vanishes with a loud pop. That is ball lightning. And it is one of the most frustrating mysteries in atmospheric science because, according to everything we know, it shouldn't be possible. Reports of ball lightning go back for centuries. Thousands of eyewitnesses describe these glowing spheres, usually appearing during thunderstorms, floating through the air, sometimes even passing through solid walls. They can last for seconds, even minutes, before either fading away or exploding. But here's the kicker. Despite all these reports, it's almost never captured on camera, and scientists have never been able to reliably create it in a lab. This is baffling because, according to our understanding of plasma physics and electromagnetism, ball lightning can't exist. Normal lightning is an incredibly fast electrical discharge, lasting only milliseconds. It doesn't form stable, floating spheres. The sheer amount of energy needed to sustain a ball of glowing plasma in the air would dissipate almost instantly. There's no known mechanism that could contain it. The theories trying to explain it are all over the place. From microwave radiation trapped inside a plasma bubble, to clouds of burning silicon particles kicked up from the soil by a lightning strike, all the way to mini black holes. Yes, you heard that right. Some physicists were so desperate to explain ball lightning they actually proposed that tiny, primordial black holes could be drifting through our atmosphere. That's how stumped we are. In the last couple of years, some researchers claimed they created ball lightning-like phenomena in their labs using high-voltage discharges and vaporized silicon. But other scientists looked at the results and said, nope, that's not real ball lightning, that's just a different kind of plasma. The debate rages on. What makes this mystery so maddening is that it's rare enough to be hard to study, but common enough that we can't just dismiss it as a hallucination. There's a database with over 3,000 credible reports from pilots, scientists, and regular people, They can't all be wrong. So we're left with a phenomenon that thousands of people have witnessed, that sometimes leaves behind physical evidence, like burn marks or fried electronics, but that we cannot explain or recreate. It's like nature is giving a giant middle finger to atmospheric physics. Now for a quick one that's a bit more unsettling. The drones over Belgium. In late 2025, unidentified drones began appearing over a Belgian military base, known to house US nuclear weapons. These weren't your average consumer drones. The Belgian military scrambled helicopters to intercept them and deployed advanced drone jammers. But the drones completely ignored the jammers and easily outmaneuvered the helicopters. They appeared on multiple nights, flew in what looked like systematic surveillance patterns over a highly sensitive area, and then simply left. As of today, nobody knows who was operating them, what they were trying to do, or how their technology was able to defeat military-grade countermeasures so easily. Some suspect it was a foreign government testing NATO's defenses. Others worry it could be a non-state group or even a civilian organization, whose technology has somehow leapfrogged far beyond what our own militaries are prepared for. Either way, it's a massive security breach at a nuclear facility that remains completely unsolved. And for our last mystery, you still don't know what happens when you sleep. We spend a third of our entire lives unconscious, and science still doesn't have a complete answer for why. We have a lot of good theories, of course. We know sleep is crucial for consolidating memories, moving them from short-term to long-term storage. It is also a time for cellular repair throughout your body and for the brain to flush out metabolic waste products that build up during the day. Sleep helps reorganize neural pathways, essentially fine-tuning your brain. All of these are probably true and important, but none of them fully explain the core mystery. Why do we need to completely shut down consciousness every single night to do it? We just accept this daily loss of awareness as normal, without stopping to think about how fundamentally strange it is that our existence is punctuated by hours of oblivion. So there you have it. Phenomena from right now, in 2026, that science still can't solve. From mysterious human remains appearing in the desert, to ghostly figures on security cameras, to the fact that 95% of the entire universe is made of stuff you wouldn't see or understand. These aren't ancient riddles, these are active mysteries, being studied by the smartest people on the planet. And they are completely stumped. Smash that like button, subscribe to Top Fact Discoveries, and drop a comment letting me know which mystery you found the most disturbing. Thanks for watching, and remember, the more we learn, the more we realize how little we actually know.